Welcome to Papa's Workshop. In my continuing effort to try to get more organized, I needed to make some compartments, if you will, with dividers that I can adjust so that I can put more or less of the screws and nuts and bolts in. And that is going to make my organization in the drawers a whole lot better because I have chaos right now, and I literally had to open up almost every container to find what I needed. I wanted to end that. So today I'm making a box using the Easel software and the classic box maker app to be able to do it. Let's get started. To support my channel, please go to patreon.com/Papa's Workshop. I want to give a big thank you to all of my Patreon. Their support makes all the difference in the world on me being able to produce these videos. In these drawers are a perfectly organized chaos. That's true. The thing of it is, yeah, it's broken down into parts, but I have to open up almost every single box to be able to find the item that I want. And I'm tired of doing that. So today I want to be able to go ahead and show you how to make an organizer so that you can see the different screws, nuts, and bolts, or whatever you want to put in these bins, and you can resize it by slipping out these little dividers. You can make the bin either larger or smaller just by adding these. And today I want to show you just how easy it is using the Easel and the Box Maker app to be able to make this type of setup to be able to get your drawers just a little bit more organized. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Easel software and we're going to get started designing this box. To be able to make these boxes is actually very easy. And what I'm going to do is start out and just go over here to the Box Maker Classic. And the width of this is going to be 21 inches. The height of this box is going to be 4 inches. And you can make this any height or size that you want. And the depth, I'm going to keep the depth of this one shallow for 2 inches for these parts. Tab length, I like it at 0.75. And this board that I'm using is 0.259 of an inch thick. So that's just how easy it is to be able to make. So I'm going to go ahead and import that in. And there's the actual box. Now what I need to do is be able to change and work with some of this. I have a bottom and a top. I don't need both, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this one right here. So that one is gone. So this one is going to be my bottom. I'm just going to set it right here for the moment. And I'm only going to work with one side for now. And then I'll duplicate that later. So I'm going to cut my one side. This is the one that I'm going to work with. Same thing with the ends. I only need one right now. So I'm going to cut that. So this is the area that we're actually going to be working with. First thing I want to do is be able to take this one right here, and I want to be able to eliminate the tabs. So all I need to do is just check that box right there. The tabs are gone. I'm going to zoom in closer so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little bar right there and slide it over. Let's go a little bit further. So there we have this easily to be seen. Now this is one of the sides. Now since we're not using the top, I want to be able to get rid of all these cutouts. And that's real easy to do. Just come up here to the edit and we're going to start with the first one and we're going to delete. And you see how it just moves to the next one. So I can delete this all the way down. So now I have a straight line all the way across. I still have all my settings every place else. So I'm going to leave that now alone. The next thing that I need to be able to do is be able to put dog bones on this. Now I could wait and do the dog bones at the end, but let's just go ahead and finish this one right now. So we've got the dog bone. We are using an 1/8 inch bit. So that's really all there is to it. And this is my new piece. So to begin with, we'll take this one and cut it. Don't need it anymore because this is the one with the dog bones. But guess what happened? It brought the tabs back in. So let's go ahead and remove the tabs. Same thing, just uncheck it. Now the tabs are gone. Now I want to zoom in real close so that you can see this. You see how this is cutting on the path? We need to come up to the shapes and cut on the outside. So that now is finished. So we'll zoom back out. We'll set this one off to the side, right down into this corner. That piece is finished. I do need to do one more thing with this, and I'll put these little vertical tabs in the moment. On the bottom, the only thing that I really need to be able to do is put the dog bones on it, and we'll leave it alone. So I'm just going to come right over here to my apps menu again, scroll down, click on the dog bones. Yes, it's the 1/8 inch, import it in, and I've got it. So that is my new piece with the dog bones. This one will go away. This one, I want to be able to get rid of the tabs again. And just like that, the bottom is finished. As far as these, same thing. I only need one of them right now. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Let's get rid of the tabs. So I have my front, back, and the bottom. I need one more side. Before I do that though, I want to go ahead and put these little slots in. So if I switch back over here, this is a slot so that I can put the dividers in. So if I click on one of them, I'm going to just hit Control C and then come over to my new workpiece and Control V. And that gives that to me. Then I'm just going to slide it right down in here and put it where it needs to be. You can see in here that this is not touching. So I want to be able to slide this up just a little bit so that it will touch, and you can see that is clear now, and it's going to give a nice sharp edge. With this selected, let's go over here to the replicator and let's take a look at this. This is an amazing tool. The spacing that I want to have is about 3 inches. One row, and I want to be able to have 6 across, and that gives me 6 of these all the way across. With that being done, with the 3-inch spaces, I can go ahead and import it, and you can see it drops it in exactly where they need to be. And if we scroll over, you can see each one of them are positioned exactly where I want them. With that accomplished, I can just simply highlight everything and hit Control C, Control V, and I have my other side done, and it's matched perfectly. So now I can just slide it up into position. So now that I have my top, bottom, and my sides, the only thing that's left is the dividers themselves. And all I'm going to do is just take one of these and hit Control C, and I'll bring it over here to the new workpiece and hit Control V, and I've got the divider. Now the wood that I'm using, just a MDF, and it's probably the worst material to use for this because this does swell when it gets moisture, and this one has. And there's places on it which is great, and there's places on it where it has swollen with the moisture. But overall, I'm using this as a 0.259 thickness, and it's going to do pretty well. To be able to secure it to the X-Carve, I'm using the Starbond thick glue. Now we'll have a 15% discount down in the description if you want to purchase this. Save yourself some money. And all it takes is just one thin bead across this glue. Now I'm using 5 strips because I literally have 5 rows to be able to hold those different parts in position. But once I have that glue on, all I need to do is just take a little bit of the accelerator, spray on the other tape that doesn't have the glue, and again, it doesn't take a whole lot, and then from there just position this board right down onto the wasteboard where I want it. And guys, you're ready to carve. This is an amazing way to be able to secure the material down to the wasteboard. It works absolutely fantastic. It holds very, very well. And you've seen me use this a number of times in the different videos that I do. But literally in real time, this is now dry and it's ready to be able to carve. I went ahead and turned on the X-Carve, and the first thing I want to do is go ahead and home the machine. So it's going through the homing sequence now. It's raising all the way up to be able to hit that top limit switch, and then it's moving over on the X-axis and it's going to do the same thing. And at the same time it's moving down the Y-axis. This homing sequence actually only takes just a couple of moments, but it guarantees that the machine knows where it's located. Now that the homing is done, it's ready to just go ahead and move the machine over to my work XY0 position. Now I'm going to set this manually exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the Z probe. Now when I'm doing the Z probe, I don't like to do it right down here at that bottom corner. What I actually like to be able to do is move it up and over more toward the center of the workpiece. And that way I can do the Z probe there. Now if I'm having a complicated piece, or if I'm doing the two-stage carving, I'll have a different process. But on a project like this, I'll go ahead and move it up, and in this case I'm moving it up 6 inches up, 6 inches over to the right, and I'm going to do the Z probe there. Now there's nothing special about this. I just follow the checklist and answer each of the questions, do the probe, and then we're just going to go ahead and move it back to the XY0 position. Now once that's done, disconnect everything. Let's get the probe out of the way, and then let's get it back over. So it's 6 inches back to the left, 6 inches coming down on the Y-axis. I'm right at my XY home position, and I click that box also. Next, I'll go ahead and attach my dust boot and turn the router on. So now it's ready to be able to carve. So let's just go ahead and hit the start and get this carving. Now with this upgrade kit, I have increased the speed quite a bit. It only takes about 15 minutes to be able to carve this box. And that is a whole lot quicker than what I could do on a table saw. So this definitely is a huge time saver. But this is up close. You can see how it's carving. And then this picture shows how efficient that it's cutting. The vacuum is doing extremely well. And this is just about finished. It's time to be able to go ahead and assemble this box. Now these joints with this type of material still looks quite good. This is assembled with just dry fit without having a glue on it yet. But these joints actually look quite good. And you can also see how that material is rough and how the moisture has gotten to it over time. So I am going to sand just a little bit to clean up these edges. And quite frankly, I'm going to sand some of these flat portions down where it's smooth again, because that moisture has gotten to this material. But this is a good project for this, and it'll get it used and not just sit around the shop anymore. So the sanding process goes very quick, and now let's go ahead and glue this box together. Now a lot of people will just use the white glue for this and clamp it, but I really don't want to do this. I want to be able to get this box finished and put into the drawer. So I'm using the Starbond glue again. This is the thick Starbond glue, and all it takes is just a little bit on each of these little tabs, and then it just snaps in position. Now I use an old gift card as a square, and that gets this perfectly straight, and it works fantastic. You don't need anything fancy. All you need to be able to have it is where it's 90 degrees. Once it's in position, I'll go ahead and spray the accelerator. I'll double check it one more time just to make sure it didn't move. And in a matter of seconds, this is dry and I'm ready to be able to move on to the next piece. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and turn it over on its side, and I'm going to put that first long side into position. The process is exactly the same. I'm going to go ahead and put a little dab of glue on each of these little tabs, and then I'm going to come back and just drop this side right into place. Hit it with a little bit of the accelerator and it'll be done. You don't have to wait. This glue dries almost immediately. The other thing I want to show you is on these little tabs, all I'm doing is just putting a little drop on this area also. That way, this is another area where these tabs actually touch each other. And I want to have just a little dot of glue on each of those points. But again, you can see just how quick that this goes, and I'm ready to be able to just drop this piece in position. This is so much easier than messing with the white glue and the clamps and then having to wait for several hours for everything to dry and set up. This way, all you have to do is just put it in position where you want it, spray the accelerator, dries instantly, and you just move on to the next section just to make sure that it's completely in position. And then I'll just hit it with a little accelerator again, and I'm going to continue this process and finish up this box. As far as these dividers, no glue necessary. I do not want to glue these in permanently. That way I can adjust the size of these compartments to really anything that I want. So if I have a large quantity of screws, I can open this up and have a large compartment, or if I have just a very few, I can make it smaller. So this is very, very adaptable, and that's one of the things that I really like about this. Okay, the first two are finished. I've already started filling it up, and I have already thrown away about a half a dozen of those containers, and now I can see my screws and be able to find them easily without digging. The Boxmaker Classic app is so versatile. You can do so many different things with it, and this is yet one more design that I want to be able to add to the collection, and I'm going to share this with the Inventables Project page so that you can download this and adapt it to your needs also. Now I have quite a few more of these that I'm going to be making over the next few weeks, but this I think is going to be my final solution to be able to eliminate that organized chaos that I had in my drawers. So please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that bell notification. I want to thank you for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next project, whatever that may be.